Dear students, welcome to the session. In this session, we are going to discuss about study of plume behavior. In this topic, it means in the study of plume behavior, we need to discuss various meteorological parameters like lapse rate, inversion, winds, moisture, and then only we can discuss about plume behavior. So, in this topic or in this session, the contents I am going to cover are lapse rate, inversion, moisture, winds, and plume behavior. First, coming to lapse rate. Lapse rate is nothing but the rate of decrease of atmospheric temperature with altitude is known as lapse rate, because already we know that in troposphere with altitude it means as we moving height from the earth's surface, the atmospheric temperature will reduces gradually. So the rate of decrease of temperature with altitude is known as lapse rate. In a well mixed air which is dry, it means whenever atmosphere is dry, for every 300 meters increase in altitude, the temperature decreases by 1.8 degrees centigrade. This vertical temperature gradient is called as lapse rate. It means 300 it means for every 300 meters increase in altitude, the atmospheric temperature decreases by 1.8 degrees centigrade. So this is the normal lapse rate in dry atmosphere. This is the important bit you have to remember. And wherever temperature is high, the concentration of pollutants will be low, because gases increase their volume at high temperatures and get diluted in atmosphere. Next one is the negative lapse rate. Lapse rate is nothing but with altitude, if the temperature decreases, the rate of decrease is called as lapse rate. And sometimes with altitude the atmospheric temperature will increases. So in that case the lapse rate is called as negative lapse rate. You can see that if the temperature of atmosphere decreases with if the temperature of atmosphere increases with altitude, the rate of decrease of temperature with altitude is called as negative lapse rate, because in this case the lapse rate should be mentioned in terms of negative. Okay, when negative lapse rate occurs, a dense cold stratum of air at ground level gets covered by warmer air at higher level. It means whenever negative lapse rate takes place, the temperature of the atmosphere near the earth surface will be low. So in that case, a dense cold stratum of air at ground level gets covered by a warmer air at higher level. Okay, during negative lapse rate, the concentration of pollutants increases near their source of emission, because whenever negative lapse rate takes place, the atmospheric pollutants, once they entered in atmosphere, they will not disperse from their source or from where they are. It means the accumulation of the concentration of pollutants at a particular zone within negative lapse rate zone will happens. Okay, and the next thing is the adiabatic lapse rate. Before that we will discuss about that. Whenever lapse rate is there, atmospheric pollutants or air pollutants can transport or can travel or can disperse in atmosphere easily. And whenever negative lapse rate takes place, the pollutants cannot disperse in atmosphere, they can accumulate at a point or near their source. You remember that. Next one is the adiabatic lapse rate. Adiabatic lapse rate is nothing but whenever air pollutants released in atmosphere from their source, the pollutants will tries to move upward direction. While they are moving in upward direction, within the pollutants, the the temperature of the pollutants will decreases with certain height or with the increasing height. So you can see here the lapse rate of an air parcel as it moves upwards in atmosphere and expands slowly to a lower environmental pressure without exchange of heat is known as adiabatic lapse rate. It means air parcel is nothing but the mass of air pollutants. Once the pollutants emitted into atmosphere, the mass of air pollutants will be called as air parcel. Okay, once the air parcel or air pollutants entered into atmosphere, they will tries to move in upward direction. So while the pollutants or the air parcel moving in upward direction with altitude or with height, the temperature of the pollutants will decreases. Understand or no? So the rate of decrease of atmospheric pollutants temperature within air parcel is called as adiabatic lapse rate. You can see here the lapse rate of an air parcel as it moves upwards in atmosphere and expands slowly to a lower environmental pressure without exchange of heat is known as adiabatic lapse rate. And one more thing is you have to remember that here the term is used as adiabatic. Adiabatic is the term used for a reactions or the process in which heat exchange is not there. It means without exchanging their heat they are losing their heat. It means that is called as adiabatic lapse rate. It means the temperature in this case the air pollutants are moving upward direction but they are not giving their temperature to the atmosphere, only they are decreasing their temperature by expanding their volume. So that's why this process is called as adiabatic lapse rate. It means without giving their temperature to anything, they are losing their temperature or they are reducing their temperature. That's why the term adiabatic given to this lapse rate. Understand or no? So normal adiabatic lapse rate is 0.9 to 1 degree centigrade per 100 meters altitude. Okay, this is the normal adiabatic lapse rate. This is 0.9 to 1 degree centigrade per 100 meter altitude. This is the value you have to remember. And the smoke or any gases pollutants mass as a parcel moves upwards by virtue of low density and higher temperature reach temperature density equal to air density. Okay. Next one is the atmospheric stability. It means based on the relationship between normal lapse rate and the adiabatic lapse rate, the atmospheric stability has been defined. You can see that the atmospheric stability is depends upon the various positions of adiabatic lapse rate, and various positions of adiabatic lapse rate has been classified into two types. One is the super adiabatic lapse rate and another one is the subadiabatic lapse rate. You can see here. First you see super adiabatic lapse rate. When adiabatic lapse rate is less than the environmental lapse rate or normal lapse rate, then that adiabatic lapse rate is called as super adiabatic lapse rate. In that case, atmosphere is said to be super adiabatic condition and unstable atmosphere. It means whenever adiabatic lapse rate is less than the normal lapse rate or environmental lapse rate or atmospheric lapse rate, in that case the atmosphere is said to be unstable. From these 2 points you have to understand that whenever adiabatic lapse rate, it means the lapse rate of air parcel is less than the lapse rate of atmosphere. In that case atmosphere is said to be unstable, and in that case that adiabatic lapse rate is called as super adiabatic lapse rate. And this unstable atmosphere enhance the vertical movement of air pollutants. So during super adiabatic condition the dispersion of air pollutants will be more. Next one is the subadiabatic lapse rate. When adiabatic lapse rate is greater than the environmental lapse rate, then that adiabatic lapse rate is called as subadiabatic lapse rate. You remember that. In that case, atmosphere is said to be subadiabatic condition and stable atmosphere. From these 2 points, you have to understand that if the adiabatic lapse rate is greater than the atmospheric lapse rate or environmental lapse rate, in that case atmosphere is said to be stable, and in that case that adiabatic lapse rate is called as subadiabatic lapse rate. This stable atmosphere stops the vertical movement of air pollutants. So during subadiabatic condition and when the atmosphere is stable, the dispersion of air pollutants will be too low, and in stable atmosphere the pollutants tends to concentrate near their sources of emission and increase the severity of air pollutants near their sources. Okay, it means from this point you have to understand that whenever atmosphere is stable, in that case all the pollutants tries to accumulate near their source only, and whenever atmosphere is unstable, in that case atmosphere the air pollutants can disperse, and whenever atmosphere is stable the air pollutants will not disperse, they will try to accumulate near their source. Okay, it means whenever atmosphere is unstable, in that case dispersion of pollutants will be there. So in that case the effects of air pollutants at a particular area will be minimum. And whenever atmosphere is stable, the accumulation of pollutants will be there. So in that case, the effects of pollution or pollutants on human body or environment will be there, and it is to be considered. So it means, in the sense of air pollution, unstable atmosphere is better to the human beings, and in case of air pollution, the stable atmosphere is worse or very harmful to the human beings when pollutants are there. Okay, next one is the inversion. We have discussed that lapse rate and the negative lapse rate. So whenever negative lapse rate takes place in atmosphere, in that case, it is said to be there is an inversion in atmosphere. Understand or no? Whenever negative lapse rate is there in atmosphere, in that case, we can say that there is an inversion in atmosphere. See, sometimes a dense cold stratum of air at ground level gets covered by light warmer air at higher level. This phenomenon is called as inversion. Already we have been discussed that in case of negative lapse rate, near that surface the atmosphere contains a cold air, and above the cold air some warmer air will be there. So that in that case only negative lapse rate will takes place. In that case, we can say that in atmosphere there is an inversion. See, sometimes a dense cold stratum of air at ground level gets covered by light warmer air at higher level. This phenomenon is called as inversion. During inversions, negative lapse rate occurs, atmosphere is stable, subadiabatic condition takes place, air pollutants do not disperse, vertical movement of air pollutants will be low or blacked, air pollutants accumulated below warmer air, that is within the cold stratum of air. It means whenever inversion takes place, all these things will be occurred in atmosphere. See, whenever there is an inversion in atmosphere, at the time or during the inversion, negative lapse rate will occur, and atmosphere is said to be stable, and subadiabatic condition will take place, and air pollutants do not disperse, and vertical movement of air pollutants will be low or blacked, and air pollutants accumulated below warmer air, that is within the colder stratum of air. And and one more thing we have to say that inversions are two types. First one is radiation inversion, and next one is the subsidence inversion. See, if the inversion occurs near the earth's surface, that is called as radiation inversion, and if the inversion is occurs above some height from the earth's surface, that is called as subsidence inversion. And why it is, we see here, radiation inversion usually occurs during nights when the earth loses heat by radiation and cools the air contact with surface. If the air is moist and its temperature is below the dew point, fog will form. The cold air stratum is covered by warmer air, and the vertical movement is stopped until the sun warms the lower air next morning. This type of inversion is more common in winter because of longer nights. Understand or no? So during winter, the atmospheric fog or snow will takes place. So due to that, near the earth's surface, the atmosphere is somewhat cold, and the air near the earth's surface will be cold, and above the cold air warmer air will be there. So in that case, the inversion is called as radiation inversion, and this is occurs due to the loss of radiation or release of radiation from the earth during night time. So you can see here, radiation inversion usually occurs during nights when the earth loses heat by radiation and cools the air contact with surface. If the air is moist and its temperature is below the dew point, fog will form. The cold air stratum is covered by warmer air, and the vertical movement is stopped until the sun warms the lower air next morning. This type of inversion is more common in winter because of longer nights. So this type of inversion is called as radiation inversion, and this radiation inversion will happen near the earth's surface. And the next one is the subsidence inversion. It occurs at modest altitudes and often remains for several days. Okay. It is caused by anticyclones, that is high pressure areas surrounded by low pressure areas. It means whenever anticyclones happens in atmosphere, as we discussed in pressure systems, in that case subsidence inversion will take place. This subsidence inversion will be at some height or will be at some altitude from the earth's surface. Okay, at the air sinks, it compressed and gets heated to form a warm, dense layer. This acts as a lid to prevent the upward movement of the contaminants. When drops to less than 200 meters, extreme pollution occurs. It means whenever the substance inversion will takes place in the atmosphere less than 200 meters from the earth, it will leads to extreme pollution. Okay. Next parameter is the wind. Wind can influence the meteorology and also it can influence the air pollution. See, the moving air is known as wind. In frictional air at the earth's surface, winds are generally gusty and changeable due to mechanical and thermal turbulences. Because at the earth's surface, winds are generally gusty. Gusty is nothing but they have high velocity, and with high velocity they can travel. So that nature is called as gusty and changeable. And one more thing, friction layer. Friction layer is nothing but from the earth's surface up to 100 meters, the atmosphere is called as friction layer. Okay, in the friction layer at the earth's surface, winds are generally gusty and changeable due to mechanical and thermal turbulences. The direction and speed of surface winds primarily govern the drift and diffusion of pollutant emissions near ground levels. Gustiness determines the extent to which the pollutants are mixed and diluted with atmosphere. Okay, gustiness can determine the extent to which the pollutants are mixed and diluted with atmosphere. The higher the wind speed near the source of emission, the more rapidly the pollutants would be carried away from the source. It means the direction of pollutants in atmosphere will be depends upon the wind. It means the direction in which wind move, the pollutants will move, and the velocity or the speed with which wind move, with that speed only pollutants will move with wind. Understand or no? So that's why. Moisture. Next one is the moisture. Water vapor present in air can block and obstruct the solar radiation reaching the ground, and also the heat radiation reflected from the sun. Humidity also leads to formation of fogs and makes atmosphere stable. Such a stability stops the wind speed and make the pollutants to be concentrated at an area. Excessive moisture in atmosphere leads to rains, which are help in improving the quality of ambient air. It means moisture. Moisture is nothing but the whatever the moisture or water vapor present in atmosphere can also decide the concentration of pollutants in atmosphere, and also can also decide the behavior of pollutants in atmosphere. So atmospheric moisture is also a meteorological parameter which can influence the behavior of air pollutants in atmosphere. You can see that water vapor present in the atmosphere or present in air can block and obstruct the solar radiation reaching the ground, and also the heat radiation reflected from the sun. It means the water vapor present in atmosphere also can influence the lapse rate or adiabatic lapse rate in atmosphere. And humidity is nothing but the concentration or the percentage of water vapor present in the particular volume of air. So okay, see here, humidity also leads to formation of fogs and makes atmosphere stable. So such a stability stops the wind speed and makes the pollutants to be concentrated at an area. It means whenever humidity is there, in that case fog maybe takes place. So during fog, it means during the fog formation, what will happen? Atmosphere is stable. Whenever atmosphere is stable, it is highly dangerous in the sense of air pollution. So such a stability or stable atmosphere stops the wind speed and make the pollutants to be concentrated at an area. Okay, excessive moisture, it means whenever moisture is excessive in atmosphere, then it will leads to precipitation or it will leads to rainfall. So in that case, whenever rain is taking place, in that case we can say that various pollutants or particulate matter and also gaseous pollutants can be cleaned from the atmosphere. Okay, plume behavior. This is the important topic here. So before that, whatever the parameters we have been discussed, they are all meteorological parameters which can influence the behavior of air pollutants in atmosphere. Okay, now we are going to see that plume behavior. Plume is nothing but air pollutants. See here, plume, the emitted pollutants, either gases or smoke from a source, is nothing but plume. Okay, stack, the source of origin of pollutants is nothing but stack. It means Plume is nothing but the emitted pollutants from stack or from a source are called as plume, and stack is nothing but whatever the source or whatever the origin of the emission of pollutants is there, that is called as a stack. And generally we can say that a chimney in industry are called as stack. Okay, the diffusion of pollutants in atmosphere considered as plume behavior. It means the dispersion or the travel or the transport or the behavior of the pollutants once they emitted in atmosphere is called as plume behavior. It is governed by environmental lapse rate and adiabatic lapse rate, as what we have been discussing earlier. It means adiabatic lapse rate, it means the relation between the adiabatic lapse rate and environmental lapse rate will decide the atmospheric stability. And whenever atmosphere is unstable, the dispersion and dilution of pollutants will be good in atmosphere, and whenever atmosphere is stable, in that case the dispersion and dilution of air pollutants will not be good, and they may be blacked and they may accumulate at an area and they may lead to severe air pollution. Next one is the plume behavior. So these are all the various types of plumes. Okay, types of plume. The following are different types of plumes characterized by different relative positions of environmental lapse rate and adiabatic lapse rate: looping plume, neutral plume, coning plume, fanning plume, lofting plume, fumigating plume, trapping plume. So these are all the various types of plumes. We will see about each plume detail here. So you can see looping plume. Looping plume is nothing but whenever the pollutants entered in atmosphere will travel in atmosphere in the shape of wave. In the figure you can see that from a chimney pollutants have been entered and they are traveling in atmosphere in the shape of wave or in the path of wave shaped. So in that case that plume is called as looping plume, or in that case the path of air pollutants is called as looping plume. Looping plume has a wavy character, occurs under super adiabatic conditions when atmosphere is highly stable and under strong lapse rate. It means whenever environmental lapse rate is greater than adiabatic lapse rate, in that case we can say that atmosphere is unstable, and whenever atmosphere is unstable, looping plume will take place. And unstable atmosphere allows rapid mixing of pollutants with high degree of turbulence. The dispersion of plume will be rapid. Next one is the neutral plume. We can say that whenever environmental lapse rate or atmospheric lapse rate is equal to adiabatic lapse rate, in that case atmosphere is said to be stable. So and whenever atmosphere is stable, the plume will move in vertical direction. So the plume which move in vertical direction are the when air pollutants will move in vertical direction, the path of the vertical path of air pollutants is called as neutral plume. You can see here neutral plume is upward vertical rise of the plume from stack. This occurs when environmental lapse rate is equal to adiabatic lapse rate. The upward lifting of plume will continue till it reaches an air of density similar to that of the plume itself. So see that this is the neutral plume. Pollutants from chimney, they entered in atmosphere and they are traveling in vertical direction. Next one is the coning plume. It means whenever the pollutants emitted into atmosphere, they travel in a path with which is in cone shaped. It means you can see in the figure the pollutants emitted in atmosphere and they are dispersion in the shape of a cone in atmosphere. So in that case the path or the behavior of pollutants is called as coning plume. See neutral plume. Neutral plume tends to cone when wind velocity is greater than 32 km per hour. Okay, and when clouds block the solar radiation during the day and earth's radiation during nights. Okay, this plume dispersion is called as cone because it makes a cone like shape about the plume line. You see here this coning plume will take place whenever the wind velocity is greater than 32 km per hour and whenever the clouds block the solar radiation during day and earth's radiation during night. It means in these two cases coning plume will take place. Okay, and coning plume occurs under subadiabatic condition. It means whenever environmental lapse rate is less than adiabatic lapse rate. Under such conditions atmosphere is slightly stable and there is limited vertical mixing. Next one is the fanning plume. Fanning plume is nothing but Whenever the plume in a straight line or in a straight path, in that case that plume behavior or the path of air pollutants is called as fanning plume. See here, fanning plume under extreme inversion conditions caused by negative environmental lapse rate extending even above the top of the stack. The emission will spread horizontally. It cannot lift upward due to stable environment. In this case, there will be no vertical mixing and the plume will extend horizontally. Such plume pattern is called as fanning plume. In areas where such conditions are caused by radiation inversions, high-rise stacks rising higher than the usual inversion layer may be adapted. Okay. And the next one is the lofting plume. Lofting plume is nothing but whenever inversion takes place in atmosphere, and that inversion layer of atmosphere should be less than the height of a chimney. In that case, pollutants entered into atmosphere. And one more thing we have been discussing, that if the pollutants entered in the zone of inversion, the pollutants cannot escape from the inversion. And if the pollutants entered in atmosphere outside of the inversion, those pollutants cannot enter into the inversion. So that is the speciality of inversion. If the inversion layer contains pollutants, it cannot allow the pollutants to escape out of the inversion. And if the pollutants are outside of the inversion, it will not allow the entry of pollutants inside of inversion zone. Understand or no? So in that case, whenever the height of the chimney is higher than the inversion layer, in that case the plume is called as lofting plume. See, when there exists a strong super adiabatic lapse rate above a surface inversion, then the plume is said to be lofting. Such a plume have minimum downwind mixing. It means such a plume have minimum downwind mixing as its downwind motion is prevented by inversion, but the upward mixing is quite turbulent and rapid. Okay. The dispersion of pollutants be rapid. No concentration of pollutants will touch the ground. This would be most ideal case of dispersion of pollutants. Okay. And fumigating plume, this is the quite opposite to the lofting plume. It means whenever inversion takes place just some height from the it means outlet of the chimney, in that case the pollutants will not move in vertical direction. So in that case that plume is called as fumigating plume. You can see in diagram, you can understand that the outlet of the chimney is there, and just some height from the outlet of the chimney, one line, dotted line is there. That dotted line is up to above that dotted line, inversion layer is there. Okay. When inversion layer occurs at a short distance above the top of the stack and superadiabatic conditions prevail below the stack, the plume is said to be fumigating plume. See here, when an inversion layer occurs at a short distance above the top of the stack and superadiabatic conditions prevail below the stack, the plume is said to be fumigating plume. The pollutants cannot escape above the top of the stack because of the inversion layer, and they will be brought down near the ground and below the inversion caused by the strong lapse rate. Okay. Quite bad case of atmospheric conditions for dispersion. So as lofting is the good case and fumigating is the bad case. Next one is the trapping plume. Okay. If the pollutants emitted into atmosphere just above the inversion layer, that is called as lofting. And if the pollutants emitted in atmosphere just below the inversion layer, that is called as fumigating. If the pollutants emitted in atmosphere in between two inversions, that is called as trapping plume. You can see here, when inversion layers occurs both above and below the stack opening, trapping plume results. The emitted plume will neither go up and nor move down. This trapping plume would remain confined between two inversions. This is bad condition of dispersion, as the dispersion cannot go above a certain height. So these are all the various types of plumes. First one is the lofting plume, in which path will be in wavy shape, and next one is the coning plume, in which the path or the dispersion will be in the shape of cone, and next one is the fanning plume, in which the dispersion will be in a single line and in horizontal direction, and there will be no vertical mixing, and the next one is the fumigating, the dispersion will takes place below the inversion layer. In that case, the pollutants may reach the earth surface. And the next one is the lofting. In lofting, the pollutants, it means the pollutants released in atmosphere just above the inversion layer. So in that case, the pollutants cannot reach the earth surface. That is the good case of plume behavior. And next one is the trapping plume. Trapping is nothing but whenever the plume or air pollutants entered in atmosphere in between the two inversion layers, in that case that plume is said to be trapping plume. Okay, and next one is the neutral plume. Last one is neutral plume. In neutral plume, the pollutants will move in upward direction. So these are all the various types of plume. So this is the most important question, most important topic. And whenever we predict the exact type of plume in atmosphere, then only we can save the, it means then only we can predict the quantity of air pollution, and also it means we can predict the probability of harmful behavior of pollutants on human beings and environment. So then we can protect our environment and ourselves against pollution. It means whenever we can predict the exact behavior of plume, then we can protect ourselves against pollution. Thank you.
Thank